bigger misunderstanding about shotguns that I wanted to just display on the range here. And that is the trajectory of different types of ammunition. And the reality is different types of ammo are going to behave differently at different distances. I know that doesn't sound like rocket science, but we hear a lot of people making assumptions about different types of ammunition, whether it's birdshot, buckshot, or slugs. And I thought the best way to demonstrate what you could expect from a shotgun is to stand at 20 yards and then at 10 yards. And I have 5 different types of ammunition loaded into the tube. We're gonna start with the least potent of all the loads, which is just a, I believe, number 8 skeet shot. So just like the stuff you would use for clay birds. Then I've got 7.5 shot, which is game loads. Then I have number 4 buckshot. Then we have double-aught buckshot. And then we're ending it with a 1 ounce slug. And then we're gonna walk down range and check out the targets and show you the patterns on the targets. Again, at 20 yards, we'll show that. Then I'm gonna go to 10 yards, do the same thing over again and show you the difference in the pattern. One key thing to note with this shotgun here is this is a cylinder bore shotgun. That means there is no choke. And for those of you that don't know what a choke is, many hunting shotguns will have threads in the end of the barrel, and you can install different chokes which can tighten up or open up the pattern based on your specific needs. But most fighting shotguns are gonna have a cylinder bore choke, which just simply means you have no tool at the end of the barrel that is going to affect the patterning downrange. That is why it is critically important that if you're going to get a shotgun like this, that you spend the time on the range to figure out what your ammunition does at various distances, just like we should be doing with every other weapon platform. So we're gonna start off first here with the skeet loads. We're at 20 yards. Now we're into 7.5 game shot, number 4 buck, double up, and wow, those slugs are wicked. So again, bird shot, game shot, number 4 buck, double up buck, and slugs. This thing is clear. We're just gonna lay it down here. Let's go down range and check this out. And there's a reason I want to talk about this misconception, because you have people that believe things like you don't even have to aim the shotgun. The spread is just going to hit anything in sight. But the reality is, depending on the load and depending on the distance, it can behave very differently than what you might expect. So when we are looking at this particular target, this is the skeet load with a cylinder bore. And you can see that these pellets barely went through the target and they are spread all over the target. So for me, in a defensive application, this load makes no sense. It's inconsistent. There's risks that are involved with a round like this because the spread is wild already at 20 yards. This is the bird, or I should say the game load. When you're looking at different shotgun loads, the bigger the number, the smaller the pellets and the more pellets that are typically in the load. This is 7.5 shot, number 8 shot. Over here, we've got number 4 buck. And what's interesting about this is we have a pellet there, we have a pellet there, a pellet there, and a pellet there. And we even have game pellets bleeding over here. So think about the fact that I aimed on this target with the 7.5 shot, and I have bullets. They're tiny, they're pellets, but they're coming out at like 1,300 feet per second, and they're already hitting over here. That could be collateral damage. That's a problem. When we go over to the double-aught buck, again, we have a pellet that went down here. This is a number 4. That, I believe, is a double-aught, but I can't even tell. But even with the number 4 buck, look at how wide that spread is already. But when we go to the double-aught buck, look at how that behaved very differently. And obviously, with a slug, we're talking about a single lead projectile that is just gonna punch a hole through whatever you happen to shoot at. So you can already see the difference in just 5 different loads of ammunition, and then understanding that every shotgun is going to be different as well. So now let's replicate this same test at 10 yards and look at the difference on these targets. I'm gonna run the exact same course of fire now. I have the exact same targets. We didn't change anything out. They're all downrange, but now we're at 10 yards. My hope is that this paints a picture of just how much distance affects how a shotgun behaves and why it's so important to pick the correct shotgun ammo type for your specific application. Starting off again with the clay bird shot. This is the game load. This is the number 4 buck. This is double op buck. This is a slug. All right, this gun's clear. It's locked back. Let's go down range and check this out. Now there's something else that's really fascinating when you shoot a shotgun like this close. But as we can see here with the skeet load, we already have more pellets that are occurring right here on the center. With the game load, same thing, but now we actually had the wad, which the wad is just a plastic piece that holds all the shot together. That punched through the cardboard. Please don't mistake that as if that's a deadly thing. I mean, that could probably really hurt somebody, but at the end of the day, it's just a plastic wad flying out. Number 4 buck, again, we can see a hole where the wad went through. Most of that number 4 buck, the 21 pellets, is on the center there. So you can already see how that group went from about 14 to 16 inches down to about an 8-inch group. This is where double op buck really starts to act like a single bullet. And this is so important to pay attention to. One of these holes is from the wad. One of those holes is from the buckshot. So when people say you don't have to aim with a shotgun, it's false. You still have to aim with a shotgun just like you have to aim with a rifle or pistol, because at 10 yards, if you're defending your life, double op buck is gonna be a group like that. Depending on the load, if it's quality ammo, if it's got a quality wad, certain ammo is gonna group better than others. So over here, we have an interesting thing where we have the slug went dead center. Actually, that might be the wad. That has some lead on it. That might have been the slug. Sometimes, depending on the load, slugs will have a wad and like a spacer. So this is something to do with the load. These are not 3 bullets that came out of here. Only one was the actual slug impact. The rest are part of the wadding or whatever's behind the slug. But slugs are gonna behave like slugs behave no matter what. It's like shooting a rifle. You have one projectile that is going to punch through a target with immense amounts of energy. So I hope that this particular demonstration really showed you the limitations and the effectiveness of specific ammunition on target. But just keep in mind, this is not an all-encompassing test.